Hey everybody, Qroo here. Welcome to lesson 11 in the series From Cero to Conversational. This one's going to be fun. We're going to be working with the mega-verb poner. Poner means to put, and it's used a lot like it is in English, but it is used a lot more often in different expressions than its English equivalent, and that's why I call it a mega-verb. We're going to start out by using this verb with some plug-and-play phrases you've already learned. Puedes poner las maletas en el carro? Can you put the suitcases in the car? See, we're just popping in after puedes, just our regular plug-and-play phrase we use for everything. And you'll notice we're using the preposition en. En can mean in or on. Quiero poner el pollo en la nevera. I want to put the chicken in the refrigerator. Tengo que poner mi nombre en este documento. I have to put my name on this document. The verb poner is used a lot in Spanish with different expressions. We're going to be going through that a lot. But in this particular lesson, I'm going to be focusing on using it like we would in English, to put something somewhere, just because I want you to get used to, some of the conjugations involved. So we can ask someone to put something somewhere. We could ask, ¿Puedes poner las llaves en la mesa? Can you put the keys on the table? Remember when we're using poder, to start our sentences? It's a nice way to ask someone to do something. The Spanish word sobre is another word you're likely to see for on top of. ¿Puedes poner las llaves sobre la mesa? ¿Puedes poner las llaves sobre la mesa? The Spanish word sobre has other meanings too. It can mean about, as in concerning something. ¿Quieres hablar sobre el proyecto? Do you want to talk about the project? It can also mean over, as in, el avión voló sobre la ciudad. The plane flew over the city. It has different meanings, and it really comes down to context. As a noun, sobre means envelope, and it's masculine. El sobre, the envelope. Tienes que poner la carta en el sobre. You have to put the letter in the envelope. Plugging poner into those sentence starters, puedes poner, quieres poner, etc. are super useful. But if you want to tell someone to do something, you're telling them, put something somewhere, how do you do it? Well, that's where the Spanish imperative mood comes in. It's how you can order someone to do something. We also call this the command form. The command form is the more informal term for it. It's really the imperative. Now, when I call things tenses and moods, all you have to keep in mind is, we're talking about a different set of conjugations. So this isn't going to be too hard, okay? If we're telling someone to put something somewhere and we're speaking in the informal, which is the tú form, we're going to change it to pon, just P-O-N. Pretty easy, right? Not too hard to remember. Pon las llaves en la mesa, or sobre la mesa. Put the keys on the table. Now, this is a lot more direct than just asking someone, ¿Puedes poner las llaves en la mesa or sobre la mesa? Because that's more like a request. This is put the keys on the table. Pon las llaves en la mesa. Now, you have those choices when you're putting something on something, but if you're putting something in something, you're just going to stick with en. Pon los libros en la caja. Pon los libros en la caja. Put the books in the box. One thing that some students find confusing about using the imperative form is that the verb conjugation is different in the negative. For example, no pongas las llaves en la mesa. Don't put the keys on the table. Put it there, it is pon. And if it's negative, don't put it there, it is no pongas. No pongas. These are the conjugations in the informal you or the tú form. For people who will be using the usted form, things may be a little bit easier because the form is the same in the affirmative and the negative. And in that case, when we're speaking in usted, it's going to be ponga. So it doesn't matter if I'm saying put the clothes in the dryer or don't put the clothes in the dryer. That is still going to be ponga. Ponga la ropa en la secadora. No ponga la ropa en la secadora. See? Verb conjugation's the same. So it's all going to come down to which one you're using. Are you speaking to the person in the informal or the formal? As I mentioned in other episodes, the usted form is used to show respect to others. It's used with strangers and older people. It's even used with family members in parts of Latin America. But in Spain, usted is used a lot less often. But when it comes to the imperative mood or the command form, I I just don't see as many opportunities to be barking orders at somebody if I'm speaking to them in the usted form. I would generally find a nicer way, to ask someone to do something. Like, ¿Puede usted poner la ropa en la secadora? Can you put the clothes in the dryer? Instead of, ponga la ropa en la secadora. Put the clothes in the dryer. Señor, sir, just doesn't really fit. So for the purpose of this lesson, let's keep our examples in the informal, and we're going to be using pon and no pongas. Pon and no pongas. You want to practice with this one a little bit? In this exercise, you're going to get to choose between pon, pongas, or the infinitive, which is poner. You'll see some new vocabulary here and there, but there will be English translations to help you. All right? Take a look at this one. Blank la ropa sucia en la lavadora. Put the dirty clothes in the washing machine. What goes there? Pon. Next one. No blank los pies en la mesa. Don't put your feet on the table. Pongas. No pongas los pies en la mesa. Don't put your feet on the table. Puedes blank las cajas en la cocina. Can you put the boxes in the kitchen? Poner. Puedes poner las cajas en la cocina. Why do we put the infinitive in there? Because it's coming after puedes, right? And we never conjugate that verb. That's why we like that plug and play phrase. Cambié de idea. No blank las cajas en la cocina. I changed my mind. Don't put the boxes in the kitchen. And there's a useful expression there. Cambié de idea. I changed my mind. You want to add that to your word list. But what's the answer we have here? Pongas, right? Cambié de idea. No pongas las cajas en la cocina. I hope you're taking the time to read these out loud. You can talk over me or pause it. And I've had a few students and they're like, wow, you really cover a lot of material in your lesson. It's hard to keep up. That's why I'm doing these in video, so you can pause them, so you can back up, so you can watch them over and over. It's not, if I was teaching an actual class, I would slow down a lot because, we'd have to, because in real life, we, can't hit rewind and repeat. Some of the folks who are really fast are like, hey, this is a perfect pace for me. If you need a little bit more time with these, you can take it. Just hit the pause button. Here's our next one. Tienes que blank la carta en el buzón. You have to put the letter in the mailbox. Poner, right? Tienes que poner la carta en el buzón. Next one, blank la carta en el buzón. Put the letter in the mailbox. Should have this one. Pon. Pon la carta en el buzón. That wasn't too hard, right? Now, the purpose of this course is to make you conversational. And in order to have conversations, you'll be talking about things in the past tense. And this is definitely one of the verbs that you'll be using a lot in the past tense. There are two verb tenses in the past tense that you'll be working with a lot, and they are the preterite and the imperfect. The preterite is used for actions that have a clear ending in the past. You'll need to learn how to conjugate this verb poner in the preterite in order to say things like, I put something somewhere, right? For example, my wife comes to me and she's like, ¿Dónde están las llaves? Where are the keys? I can say something like, I put them in the kitchen. Las puse en la cocina. Las puse en la cocina. So take a look at that sentence. It starts with las. What is las referring to? The keys. If you don't know why that's in front of the verb or you're confused about the usage of that, you need to go back and watch lessons 5, 6, and 7. I know, 5, 6, and 7. That is such a fundamental part of Spanish that if you're having trouble with that concept, or at least don't have some basics down as we move forward, you're going to get lost. So after this lesson, you might want to plan to, go back and watch those. Let's go ahead and cover the conjugations for this one in the preterite. Okay, they're not particularly hard. Again, we're giving these in the same order we always do. Puse, pusiste, puso, pusimos, pusieron. And back when I was learning conjugations, I would repeat them to myself in that order. I'd be like, poner in the preterite, puse, pusiste, puso, pusimos, pusieron. Puse, pusiste, puso, pusimos, pusieron. If you're not already familiar with those conjugations, go ahead and take a screenshot of them or jot them down so you can practice with them a little bit in the exercise I'm about to show you. There may be some new vocabulary for some folks who may not remember things, so I'm going to be giving you little tips and hints as we go through. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Where are my shoes? Now, if you look at the screen, I have zapato there. that's shoe. And, you can see a little M, which means it's masculine. All right. If you see a little F, that's what? Feminine. That should tell you how to work with it. Now, you may have to make it, plural. You may be using el, la, los. You may be using your possessives, me, mis, things like that. But, you're going to have to work with a little bit. So go ahead and translate that one. Where are my shoes? ¿Dónde están mis zapatos? ¿Dónde están mis zapatos? Did you get that? All right. Now let's work in our new verb, poner, in the preterite, right? That's why you had to take that screenshot or jot them down. I put them in the closet. Now you'll notice I put 2 words for closet there. Spanish takes a lot of words from English, so you will hear closet with an accent over the O. And you'll also hear armario, which is, well, real Spanish. Use either one, okay? I put them in the closet. You should have los puse en el closet or los puse en el armario. I'll take either one. A couple important things there. You should have los right up there in front. And why is it los? What is it referring to? The shoes, right? Los puse. Did you get that one? All right, go ahead and try this one. Where's my wallet? ¿Dónde está mi cartera? Or you might have had, ¿Dónde está mi billetera? That word will change a little bit depending what country you're in. I put it in the drawer of the night table. Now, I know that's a long one, right? The drawer of the night table, right? That's a lot going on there. So it's in parentheses on the screen, all right? All right, ready? La puse en el cajón de la mesita de noche. La puse en el cajón de la mesita de noche. Let's go ahead and tweak this a little bit, and we're going to be using poner in our question and our response. Where did you put my keys? ¿Dónde pusiste mis llaves? ¿Dónde pusiste mis llaves? I put them in the kitchen. Las puse en la cocina. Las puse en la cocina. Did you get both those? Did you get the conjugation right? Did you put las in there because las is referring to keys? If you did, you're killing it. You're doing an amazing job. Very, very proud of you. If you're having some trouble with this, you might have to watch this video more than once, which, hey, I like when you do that because it helps generate revenue for the channel. So feel free to, watch them on a loop. I don't mind. Here's our next one. Where did you put my book? ¿Dónde pusiste mi libro? ¿Dónde pusiste mi libro? I put it in the living room. And you'll notice I have 2 choices for living room. I have la sala and el living. El living. And you can tell that second one comes from, well, English, and the first one is more Spanish. You choose either one you like. All right, ready? Lo puse en la sala or lo puse en el living. Either one you like. And why is it lo? What are we referring to? The book. This is just getting easier, isn't it? So the big thing I want you to take away from today's lesson is those conjugations. First, in your imperative mood. If you're speaking in the informal tu, you're going to have pon and no pongas. And if you're speaking in the usted, it's just going to be ponga, ponga. A great way to practice is to create your own sentences. And you can use those constructions like the exercise to do that. That's the point of this particular course. I'm giving you plug and play phrases. I'm giving you the tools to be able to talk about whatever you want, not just so you sound like a parrot. Well, that's it for today. If you like this lesson, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And until next time, hasta luego.